willing to work with us, I'll...
Yes! Oh, thank God. Everyone's working together. Where are we? Oh!
Body is pulling on my soul?
I was wondering if this would ever come into play. Yep, this is what I thought he was doing. Welcome back to another Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood video. Today we have episode 40, and it seems I have picked a hell of a time to go back and rewatch at least the first opening. Few of you guys have brought to my attention that there's something significant in this episode that makes the first opening a very interesting rewatch. So what I'm gonna do is after this episode, during the discussion, I will go back, and it sounds like something I should be able to come to the conclusion about. I was a little bit uncertain about how I felt going into this episode, knowing that there is something significant like this, because it's a very interesting thing about like reaction videos like this, that sometimes it's hard to avoid the fact that you know that there is some sort of big episode coming up, and I'm the kind of person, I don't want to have any expectations about any episode ever, you know, but I've actually found myself very excited about this one. Someone did comment on my episode 39 video to maybe hold off until after this episode to go back and rewatch the openings, but it was too late. I'd already recorded it, but it is what it is. But basically, in case you missed my last video where I watched the third opening and ending, as well as going back and watching the first two openings, I basically just picked up on a lot more details than I did the first time watching and developed a couple extra theories. And this was my assumption, but it was open to interpretation, I think, at the time, that I was wondering that, you know, does an important sacrifice need to have actually opened the portal themselves or just have been through the portal? In which case, you guys did confirm, and I was pretty sure this was the case. It has to be someone that's opened the portal themselves, like Ed, Al, or Izumi. But for example, like Ling and Envy, who have been through the portal but didn't open it themselves, are not considered to be a worthy sacrifice, right? Which kind of puts a bit of a dent in my theory about Winry potentially becoming a sacrifice as well, because I don't believe she can open the portal herself right now with things as they are. But a lot can happen. We've still got a bit more than 20 episodes left, so we'll see what happens. I'm very excited for this one. Episode 40, it's like 40 is kind of, once we get to the 40s, I start to think I'm really in the thick of things, and it's really crept up on me, like how far into the show I've actually gotten. Like we're well and truly approaching endgame stuff here. A lot of the plan about what's going on has started to come to light. All the homunculi are revealed. Everyone's starting to come together and get on the same page about what's going on. It's just very exciting. But that's enough of that. I'm going to get into the episode now. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 40. Okay, straight to Briggs. Is this who has been put in charge instead of Armstrong? Olivier? But they are onto the Raven situation, it seems. It's a cool shot. Damn, I didn't see this coming. I should have.
They posted you in Central Mustang.
Interesting. I wonder if they have backstory. All I know is Olivier does not like Roy.
Well, sometime we should grab some dinner.
Roy.
I hope you know I could eat you into bankruptcy.
Hey, yo.
Skip dinner then.
What? I guess they just want to chat.
Flowers instead.
Flowers, nice. It's a callback to the Armstrong family member that gave Roy the advice, excuse me, not the advice, the information, right? About what's going on in Briggs. Alright, Olivier and Bradley. But Olivier knows about Bradley now.
Now then, General Armstrong.
How much does Bradley know?
We need to talk about General Raven's recent disappearance.
Yeah, this of course.
I won't be able to hide it all. Pardon me, Your Excellency, but I simply don't understand how you can employ someone as careless and incompetent as General Raven.
Talk to him then.
Is that the reason you saw fit to dispose of him?
Surely you don't need him.
Ooh.
It can't be good to have someone so talkative on your senior staff.
Damn, she's letting him know.
Immortality. The history of this country. Your Excellency's identity.
Damn, she's coming out with all of it.
All sorts of things without any prompting.
Interesting. Can she blackmail Bradley? Maybe.
Responded to my summons.
But Bradley can just get rid of
I
her.
assume you'll be needing someone to fill that fool's vacant seat.
She's playing her cards right. See how Bradley takes this.
Interesting. I like the way you play.
Ooh, he seems to like it.
Very well. You can have General Raven.
Nice. Well played, Olivier.
Understand. My men will take over Fort Briggs.
As you wish.
Excellent.
My soldiers are extremely strong and well trained, sir. I guarantee they will serve you well, Your Excellency.
Oh, this is really good. This is really good.
I appreciate.
Dude, look at Bradley.
General.
I really like this because Olivia made it a point a few episodes ago to tell her soldiers, you guys have nothing to do with this Raven situation. It was all me. You guys know nothing about it. So Olivia can do this. She can take Raven's spot. Obviously, we know she doesn't want to do that. She's just like, she's playing the role really well. And if all goes to plan, you know, Bradley won't catch wind that everyone else up in Briggs is informed as well as Olivia is here. Really good. I really like this.
Although our leader might be gone, we still stand as one.
Yes, exactly.
That's the Fort Briggs way.
I love it.
Here on, the bears will fight the tigers.
I love all these. Homunculus, the dwarf in the flask. Okay, what in the world does that mean?
Fear Bradley works very efficiently, though, so that helps. He isn't a slacker, that's for sure.
Sounds like this is going to be a dull conversation.
What? Not the shadows, man.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently. Scar is up in the north.
Interesting. Tap, tap.
The Elric brothers are up there as well.
I see.
My
Yep.
former
Is it Morse code?
classmates Lucy and Ian are stationed up there. They like to keep me informed.
Aren't the North and East conducting joint exercises this spring?
Yes, I think you're right about that. I hope Miles and Buccaneer don't show us up like they have in the past.
Miles.
I see.
Buccaneer. Okay. Happy.
Okay.
Oscar. Mike. Uni.
Homun
Charlie.
homunculus.
Uni and Lucy again.
Wow, that's sick.
Uni once more. And then Sterling.
Homunculus. Salim, bro.
Homunculus.
Well played, Hawkeye. Dispose of the evidence.
Possible.
Okay, good. So Roy knows now as well. That's huge.
Happen here in Central.
There's a little moat around Central there. I've never seen that before. That's really cool. Father. You guys are right. He is so different after Greed, like, left his body, you know?
Hey, you there.
Oh no!
It's all right. Look, over here.
Yeah?
When I made the thumbnail for my last video, I almost started recording because I just assumed, I'll put the picture right here. I just assumed watching the clip, I've got chills right now. I just assumed watching the clip that, you know, it's obviously Ed in the foreground, but the bigger image was Ed as well. And then I looked at it like, and I was like, is that Winry? Then I was like, wait, is it Al? I'm like, wait, maybe it is Ed when he's older. I think it's this guy, which is nuts. And given that transition, is this a young father? And what is this homunculus thing? Okay, everyone shut up.
Can't you at least bring yourself to act a little surprised or something?
What do I get for acting surprised?
Hohenheim, okay.
What's your name?
I'm number 23.
Number 23.
I want you to tell me your real name.
I'm a slave. I don't have one.
Then you can really see the family resemblance in Hohenheim here.
Outta here.
He's got Ed's short temper as well. I guess Ed has his short temper.
You are the one who gave me blood, right?
What?
I guess so. He said he was going to use it for an experiment.
He said.
I exist today because you gave me your blood. Number 23 isn't going to cut it. I think I'll give you a name of your own.
Von Hohenheim.
Your name.
Theo.
Theo?
Bombastus Bombastus.
Okay, that's not it. Bombastus.
You're not that well. How about Von?
There you go.
Von Hohenheim. How does that sound?
So Von Hohenheim, huh?
And here it
I
is.
think I can remember that.
Don't you even want freedom? Are you going to live out the rest of your life as a slave without the rights of a real man?
Hell no.
In that case, you're no different from me, trapped inside this stuffy flask.
Homunculus, what does this mean, bro?
Hey. What are you? Who are you?
That's what I'm saying.
I call you.
I'll tell you what, Von Hohenheim, you can call me the dwarf in the flask homunculus.
The dwarf in the flask homunculus. Alright. And that is clearly... Oh, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. But that the eye, the arms, you know, we've seen this before. So this was Hohenheim. I wonder exactly how long ago that is, though. But you can see You can see the family resemblance there, especially in Ed, and the short temper that Ed has as well. Where in the world are we, man? Where are we? Please talk to me. Okay.
All things are made from one.
Master.
In the end, all things return to one.
In other words,
Hohenheim's master, I guess.
Indeed, and all is one as well.
That's a, that's the Azumi thing, right? I've completely forgotten about this. That was from the flashback of Ed and Al on the island, right? And they had to figure out what this means, right?
all is ultimately of the one. So if all is not included in the one, then all is nothing.
Oh god, that makes me dizzy.
You have passed.
He's got the same color eyes.
Now an alchemist, Hohenheim. Well done, child.
My skill is nothing near yours, master.
Interesting, interesting, interesting.
I'm grateful to you.
Oh? For what?
I live as well
Homunculus.
as I do now because of the knowledge you gave me. Maybe someday, I'll even be able to get married and have a family.
We know he does.
Family, huh? Unless you form communities and breed, your species can't continue to exist.
Okay, this is probably where the idea of immortality comes from.
Whether or not, it's where humans find happiness. We live for the bonds that we form with friends and family members. What is it that makes you happy?
I think I'd be happy if I could just leave this flask.
Clearly has its own agenda.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Slave number 23, that's Hohenheim.
Fullmetal
The
Alchemist.
little one inside the flask. Dude.
Immortality? Why would someone who already has so much power and prosperity need
That's enough chatter.
King of Xerxes. Oh, here we go.
How lamentable, King of Xerxes.
Things are gonna happen.
Okay, I'll tell you how you can achieve immortality.
They're gonna destroy Xerxes.
What are you digging here for?
Irrigation canals. The kings ordered them to be dug all throughout the country.
Yep.
Cares about the well-being of us.
Look at these people.
Yes,
Are these...
it does.
Okay, I'm starting to think these are what Xerxean people look like. So I'm thinking that Hohenheimer father, at least Hohenheim, was from Xerxes. Let's see how this plays out. And I wonder if they're digging Are they digging a transmutation circle?
Remember, there must be no survivors.
Yeah, here we go. They're trying to make a Philosopher's Stone, right? I believe? Jesus Christ. Irrigation canal. Oh!
Quickly, carve out the crests of blood.
Yep.
What an awful tragedy.
So he doesn't know that the homunculus has... Yeah! Oh, man! They're gonna sacrifice all of Xerxes, man.
Majesty.
He looks like Hohenheim now. We know he is Hohenheim. That just caught me off guard. So it's been a long time, pretty much.
Your transmutation circle is complete.
Yeah, here we go. And this might be father, man. I think this is father. The king of Xerxes.
You may now become immortal.
Oh, man. But what happens to Hohenheim? Okay.
King will achieve immortality.
Yes, this is an amazing moment indeed.
Something gonna happen. Oh, here we go. The portal.
This is immortality. No, you must be wrong.
Are they being sacrificed?
You're not ascending.
Interesting.
You said if we were in the center of the circle, we wouldn't be harmed.
But what's going on here? Hey, homunculus!
The true center of the transmutation circle is right here where you're standing.
Yep.
Surely you remember that your blood is within me. I used it to open the doorway.
Oh.
Blood brother of mine, von Hohenheim. Right
Blood
now,
brother of mine.
You and I are at the center of everything.
Okay. Here it is. Look, it's the circle. It's the circle. Look, and this is Xerxes, man. This is the destruction of Xerxes. This is it. This is it. Oh, but it wasn't Father or Hohenheim. It was this homunculus thing. The entirety of Xerxes. I think what they were digging is the circle, right? Oh my god. Look at all the deconstructing. Man. Okay. how do we get... Oh, how do we get Father and Hohenheim though? He's the only one left. But they're all gone. His master. They're all dead. All of Xerxes.
Willard, McDonald, Reinmeyer.
These are the oh! These are the... Of course. Ooh. He's made up of all their souls, maybe? It's Father.
Souls have been taken from them.
This must be Homunculus, right? The king. It's the king.
Right.
The king is Father.
Tell me, your body, how is it feeling?
And he looks exactly the same as Hohenheim.
Impossible. Using your blood, I created.
Yes, yes, I see.
Nice.
Nice.
I can walk on my own two legs.
I see. It was the homunculus.
Are you the homunculus?
With Hohenheim's blood.
What's
Yes.
going on? To thank you for your blood, I've given you a name, and I've given you knowledge.
That's facts.
I've given you a body that will live forever. I'm immortal.
Wow.
Focus your attention within yourself, Hohenheim. You hear them, don't you?
Yep.
Voices of all the people in
Oh
this country
my
who
God.
died in exchange for your immortality.
He has all of the Xerxian people within him.
Half of their lives were for me.
Okay, half and half.
I appreciate your cooperation, Hohenheim.
Holy shit. And out of thanks, he lets him live. Oh my God. And he's just been living. Izumi. Oh!
I knew it.
There's too much happening in this episode. I need help.
Finally, I get the chance to meet Ed and Al's father.
And I finally get to meet the one who taught my sons.
Oh, is it gonna be a wholesome interaction?
A handful.
I'm so happy.
They were fine boys.
What is it?
We need to fix Izumi up, man.
May I have
Oh, of course, of course.
a bit about the medical field? Sure.
The medical field, man. The medical field. Alchemistry.
You have seen the truth.
He knows straight away.
Your sacrifice.
My insides were taken. I was trying to bring my child back to life.
I'm sorry.
He's fixing her for sure somehow. It's okay.
Calm down, dear, please. I'm all right.
He shoved his hand into you.
But my breathing, it's easier.
He's fixed her, man. Did he fix her?
There's no wound.
That's impossible.
Your organs were taken away as a testament to your sin, and they cannot be brought back. But I
Uh-huh.
did rearrange your entrails somewhat to improve
Oh.
the flow of blood.
Look at this guy.
Tell me, you cannot give in to your fate just yet.
You're the boy's father.
But who are you?
Who are you?
Nice subtitles.
Who am I? I am a philosopher's stone.
He is a philosopher's stone. Facts.
That's what I am.
Oh my God, man. Oh, is that the best episode so far? It might be, man. It might be. Okay, post credits, post credits, post credits.
The Sorcerer's Stone, the Celestial Stone, the Grand.
Is this back early in the series? It's Marco.
Many names.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily a stone.
It can come in many forms.
What Marco had was a semi-liquid form. The one that Kimberly has is similar to a crystal, and it's about this.
This is the present, man.
Say it.
I've never seen one that's much bigger than a small pebble. Besides, to create a Philosopher's Stone that big,
Oh my God.
thousands of people.
Yep, half of Xerxes is...
Possible, but I would never want to see it.
That's your dad, man. That's your flesh and blood. I'm gonna talk a little bit first, and then I'll go back and watch the OP. The first opening. Because I think I'll need to see a visual to make the connection here. This show is so damn good, man. My favorite parts of this show is when they just sprinkle in bits of Hohenheim's backstory like this, and it just gets crazier and crazier every time. Okay, so I need to somehow connect this to my theory about like the East Sage and the West Sage situation, you know? So we're still missing some information though, right? So we just get thrown into the situation of here's Hohenheim, he's used his blood to create, you know, the homunculus, the dwarf in the flask. But how has that come about? It is another question that I'm assuming will get answered later on. But that's the situation we find ourselves in. And this homunculus's entire goal is to get out of this flask, achieve a body and you know, be immortal. And that's exactly what happens. The king of Xerxes, and I don't know if we've been showing Xerxean people like specifically before, but the blonde hair and the golden, the yellow eyes, and that's Ed and Al as well, right? Because they're descendants of Hohenheim, who was a Xerxean. He was a slave, number 23. The homunculus that he created with his blood gave him the name von Hohenheim, like gave him all the knowledge that he needed to move up in life, I guess. Got himself in front of the king of Xerxes, who wanted to know about immortality, and the homunculus has twisted this whole situation around to make it in favor of itself. So we're going to create this huge transmutation circle around all of Xerxes. That's what they were digging, the canals for. It's just like the massive tunnel for all of Amestris. Oh my god, what are they trying to do in Amestris? Right? And the homunculus has told the king that in the center of the circle is safe. But here's the thing. The entire of Xerxes is the center of the circle. No, right? Everyone is a sacrifice. That's exactly what's going to happen to Amestris. Everyone inside the circle is going to be sacrificed. So the entirety of Xerxes has been sacrificed. Half of that has gone into Hohenheim. The other half has gone into the king of Xerxes, which the homunculus in the flask with Hohenheim's blood has occupied and taken the form of Hohenheim because it has his blood inside of it. That's crazy. So in essence, yes, father was responsible for Xerxes to create, I guess, 2 Philosopher's Stones, half of Xerxes making 1 Philosopher's Stone in father, the king of Xerxes, which the homunculus has fabricated into looking exactly the same as Hohenheim because it has Hohenheim's blood. And I'm repeating myself here, but words are just coming out. And the other Philosopher's Stone is Hohenheim. And I guess as thanks for like giving the homunculus existence, like giving Hohenheim's blood, allowing it to get to this point, it gives Hohenheim like half of the souls. And as Hohenheim's walking around when he wakes up and he's saying all the names of the dead Xerxians, the same names he said when he pulled the blood out of himself. So he's clearly got some control over the souls inside of him. And I just want to draw attention to, so at this point, I am very, very certain, I can't remember if it's the East or the Western Sage, but it's whichever one Ed speaks about to Fu when they're talking about the sages, right? Whichever one went to Amestris and introduced the idea of alchemy, okay? That must be father, right? Because father, he had control over alchemy. We know Hohenheim became an alchemist. Perhaps alchemy was just a Xerxean thing, right? And then Hohenheim, like his master was clearly a very skilled alchemist who had, Hohenheim figure out the same question or the same situation about this one is all is one thing that Izumi had Ed and Al figure out, which is a fantastic callback. But then I believe father is the one in Hohenheim's body that went to Amestris to fabricate this entire situation of building this massive transmutation circle, the entire country. All of Xerxes in 2 Philosopher's Stones is 2 bodies, right? So we've seen little Philosopher's Stones like this. Hohenheim and father are 1 Philosopher's Stone. They're so much bigger, right? If their entire being is a Philosopher's Stone, they're so much bigger than the little ones we've seen. So what in the world is coming out of this whole, the entirety of Amestris? What can they make? There's still so many questions about like the portal and everything. Like where did the homunculus get this knowledge from? Like, was it just born with it? How was it born? It's so interesting. But before I cover the rest, I will look through the first opening again and just kind of see. Apparently there's a massive spoiler that you can't know until you've seen this. So let me go have a look at that. I think I've just realized what it is. There's no way. I don't want to get this wrong. But I think the second I press play on this opening, I'm going to understand. That is wild. It's not Ed. It's Hohenheim. It's Hohenheim this entire time. I'm gonna make sure I don't have this wrong. I'm gonna go back to the episode we just watched. It just makes so much of what I talked about in the last video like almost redundant, which is absolutely hilarious, by the way.
It's all right. Look, over here.
It's Hohenheim, man. Yeah, he's wearing the exact same clothes. It is Hohenheim. Okay, so last video during the opening reanalysis, it's so funny. I guess that's part of why, you know, these reaction like videos are so unique. It's everyone's different experience of everything. And this is the way I've experienced it. So I've spent all of last video talking about, oh, it's Ed. He's clearly older. He has both of his hands. He gets his arm back when he's older. Maybe there's a time skip. It's Hohenheim this entire time. And as soon as I started to pull this up, I started to realize, I'm like, oh my god, it's just going to be Hohenheim, isn't it? Young Hohenheim, slave number 23, standing in front of the Xerxes mural. Dude, what if the lyrics are from Hohenheim's perspective as well? Is that wild? I still have too long a life ahead to get rid of these feelings, right? To Trisha, and then the boys. I want to try doing over the things I've left undone, and then it's Hohenheim. It's so good, man. Oh my god, this show is so crazy good. It's not like I want to go back to the way things were back then. Maybe it's a double meaning. It can be seen from like Ed, Al, maybe even Winry's point of view, but also from Hohenheim's. It's Hohenheim the whole time. Y'all are crazy. As I'm sitting here throughout the first time I watched the first OP from last video, and I'm just like, it's Ed when he's older. He always seems so different in these intros because it's not him, man. It's his father. It's freaking Hohenheim. Holy guacamole. Throughout this show, I have picked like some crazy moments to like do things. Like in episode 10, I went on that massive rant about Hughes and how sus I thought he was, and then no, he got killed off. And the last episode, I decided to go back and watch the first two openings to see what else I could pick up on, and then this happens, and it's all just thrown on its head. I'm so happy right now. Oh, it really makes me think about this whole Pride being the first homunculus, but homunculus was father. I don't know. It probably doesn't mean anything. I think Pride is definitely the first homunculus that father created. Okay. I completely forgot that whole first part of the episode happened after everything else that went on, so I'll talk about that first. So we get a little glimpse of the, I guess the soldier that's been put in place by Bradley up in Briggs, and that is talking about the Raven situation. We get Olivia and Roy crossing paths in Central, talking a little bit in code, like Roy references the flowers that one of Olivia's relatives brought to Roy in exchange for some information. And then Olivia and Bradley talking was very well played. I did talk about that during the episode, so I won't talk too much about it now, but very well played by Olivia to kind of get on Bradley's side. So she is like our inside soldier right now. She's our double agent. It's so cool. Roy and Hawkeye's discussion using code was fantastic as well. They've sat down, you can see the scar on Hawkeye's face from her interaction with Pride, and Hawkeye knows she can't really give up any information. She looks down at her shadows, that kind of sound effect plays, saying that Pride is always there. If there's shadows, Pride's listening, he's watching. And she taps her mug on the table a couple times, which seems to signal to Roy that, a code is coming. And she uses the names of the people she's talking about as they're seemingly making small talk about, the northern and eastern forces and whatnot, as code. So the order that the names come about is pretty much signaling to Roy, as he writes it down in his notes that he has, that Salim is a homunculus. So Hawkeye has gotten that information to Roy without Salim figuring that out, right? So it would seem. So now I believe the assumption there is that Roy has all this knowledge and Pride is probably not going to be watching him, right? Like Pride doesn't have a reason to be watching Roy, and he has this information. It's very interesting. Okay, and then we get into the whole Hohenheim homunculus thing that I've already talked a lot about. So I'll skip towards the ending sequence of this, which I haven't discussed a lot about. So Hohenheim, shakes awake on a train. It's not the first time it seems like he's been dreaming about the stuff of the past. He's very affected by it. It's insane. He is made up of half of the Xerxian people that he grew up with, I guess, that he lived with. Like, that's like his curse, right? Like immortality. And we find out, obviously, that he said earlier in the episode that he wanted to have a family and children, which he does have. And that's what really makes him want to just no longer be immortal. So crazy, just the depth of Hohenheim and father and all of this. But the Hohenheim and Izumi reaction was just unlike anything I could have expected between the two of them. I'm pretty sure that Izumi and Ed and Al talked about Hohenheim. They mentioned his name, and I can't remember Izumi's reaction. I think it was quite a negative one, perhaps. Maybe that was based on how Ed was talking, because at that point we think Hohenheim has just left the family and we don't like him. But they have a really wholesome interaction. They're just talking about, oh, it's so great to meet Ed and Al's father, or it's so great to meet their teacher. Like, it was very wholesome. It made me very happy. And Hohenheim being able to catch on very quickly to the fact that Izumi has seen the truth, and she sacrificed part of her insides, right, for all of that. I'm going to draw attention to the fact that he says, I know a bit about the medical field, okay? We know alchemy, is very, medicinal based. It's based on healing and whatnot. And part of my assumption here was that, perhaps alchemy was just a Xerxian thing. And after Hohenheim was given the immortal body, perhaps he went east to Xerxes, when father went west to Amestris. I hope I've got those directions right, to start his whole situation of creating and expanding Amestris for this massive transmutation circle. If Hohenheim went to Xing, I might have said Xerxes before, and if Hohenheim went to Xing, introduced his alchemy, and they kind of combined it, because I think what Fu said was they combined it with their knowledge of stuff to create alchemy. I really think I'm onto something with this theory. I don't know how many episodes ago I started with this theory, but it's really starting to make sense. It could really be a thing. And then at some point, Hohenheim came back to Amestris, obviously met Trisha and Panako and everything, and and then he had his family. And now we find ourselves where we are now. But back to this Izumi situation. So Hohenheim says, okay, you've given up your insides. They are in the portal. They are in truth. They can't be restored, but I can bloody stick my hand inside of you, which was nuts. They put a bit of undertone on it, especially when Sig came back in and decked Hohenheim, that I was like, something bad happening, but you really felt like he could help, because we know what he is, and he's just rearranged her insides a little bit to make her blood flow better, and that'll just help her exist a little bit better, which is fantastic. I'm really happy for Izumi about this. Maybe she can get involved a little bit more now. And then he reveals that he is a Philosopher's Stone in human form, which was the implication. All of those souls coming in, like he's made up of all those souls, all those people, and he has some control of them. Like that scene where he out of his chest and they went into the ground. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what he can do with them. It's so cool. And the post-credit scene as well, going back to, it was very early on in the show when Ed was going through that book. I think he was still in his wheelchair at the time, before he even had his automail, at least his leg. And it's like the Philosopher's Stone, the Sorcerer's Stone, it could take on many different forms. For example, actual human bodies, like Father, like Hohenheim. So I think the difference between Father and Hohenheim, right, is that, Hohenheim was originally a human who's been given immortality, a Philosopher's Stone in human form, with half of the Xerxian souls in them. Father, whose original body, I believe, is meant to be the king of Xerxes, is now occupied by that homunculus, and mixed with Hohenheim's blood has become to look like him as well. So that's the difference, right? Hohenheim was originally a human, and Father was originally a homunculus. And I guess that's where the difference in power comes in. It must be, right? It makes sense to me. We'll see about that. Oh, this is the big question now, is like, what is... Dude, I don't even know. Is the whole planet going to become a damn Philosopher's Stone? The entirety of Amestris is just going to be a Philosopher's Stone? It comes in many forms. It could be anything. Like that is the question. Oh, it's just, I don't even know. But that was bonkers. Episode 40, mark it down. Maybe damn near the greatest episode. And who would have thought that it was all going to be about Hohenheim like this? Dude, he is the first thing you see after the Xerxian mural in the first OP. It's Hohenheim. And they look so similar, him and Ed. And Ed has his short temper as well. It's just... Oh, dude, it's just Attack on Titan. I'll try not to go too specific for people that haven't seen Attack on Titan. And right now, it's the bloody 2nd of November. Attack on Titan finale is in 2 days. And if you haven't started watching Attack on Titan yet, do yourself a damn favor. It is one of the greatest stories ever told. If you love this story, Fullmetal, you're going to love Attack on Titan. But it's the same thing. There are just so many things that are written in so early on in the show that you cannot have any idea about until later on. And I just love that. So now I will never be able to go back, watch the first opening and have the same experience, even as I did yesterday in the video of me going back and looking at OP1 before seeing this episode. It's just incredible. The storytelling is just phenomenal. We've got 24, 26, I can't remember exactly how many episodes left. And it's just going to get better. I can just tell. I really cannot wait to finish the show and be able to look back on it, rewatch it, read the manga. I'm just so grateful for this experience. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to move straight into episode 41 now. And thank you all down in the comments for continuing to make this a fantastic experience for me. Not giving things away, prompting me on the right things when I need to be prompted on them. It's just made this experience so much better. But that's going to do it for this one. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this and for other shows as well. And always, please continue to leave your comments and feedback down below. You know I always appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.